Life does not get better by chance. Life gets better by change. And the greatest change you will ever make, the most powerful shift you will ever experience, begins not in the world around you, but in the world within you. Jim Rohn said it best. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. And isn't that the truth? Because here's the brutal reality most people will never face. The life you are living right now is a reflection of the thoughts you have allowed to dominate your mind. Every result you see, the good, the bad, the extraordinary, or the disappointing, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the quality of your thinking. Change the thinking, and the reflection changes. Yet most people never will. They spend their lives hoping that the world will somehow shift in their favor, praying for the economy, the government, the weather, or sheer luck to bring them success. But here's the harsh truth. Success doesn't answer to hope. Success doesn't bow to luck. Success only answers to discipline, to philosophy, to the way you think every single day of your life. Jim Rohn called it the set of the sail. Not the blowing of the wind, but the set of the sail determines where you end up. The winds of life blow on us all. Challenge, difficulty, tragedy, opportunity. But two men can face the same storm and land in different places. Why? Because one set his sail with intention, and the other let the wind carry him wherever it pleased. So I must ask you, how have you set your sail? How have you trained your mind to think? Because if you are waiting for conditions to get easier, you are wasting the most valuable currency you have, time. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom." That is the philosophy of success. That is the code of the few who rise above mediocrity and become unstoppable. Think about it. Everything you touch, everything you create, every dollar you earn, every relationship you have, it is all shaped by what you believe about yourself and the world. If your thinking is small, your life will shrink to fit it. If your thinking is negative, your life will become a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. But if your thinking is bold, disciplined, and empowered with vision, then nothing in this world can keep you from becoming what you decide to become. Let me ask you, what do you believe about yourself right now? Not what you tell the world, not the mask you wear. Deep down, what do you really believe? Because if you believe you are average, life will hand you average results. If you believe you are not worthy, life will reinforce that belief with endless evidence. But if you dare to believe you are capable of greatness, and if you train your mind daily to think, act, and move like a person of greatness, then life will bend in your direction. Jim Rohn said, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." Do you understand what that means? It means success is not a destination, not a prize someone hands you, not a stroke of luck. It is a magnet drawn to you by who you are. If you want more, you must become more. If you want things to change, you must change. But here's the problem. Most people want to change their life without changing their mind. They want the reward without the process. They want success at the level of their dreams, but they think at the level of their fears. And that contradiction destroys them. You see, the mind is the battlefield. Every day, voices compete for control of your thoughts. One says you can, one says you can't, one says rise, one says stay down, one says grow, one says quit, and and every single day, you get to choose which voice will dominate your life. The tragedy? Most people surrender by default. They let negative thoughts rule them. They let fear tell them what to do. They let excuses shape their destiny. But you are not most people. You are here because you feel the truth echoing in your soul. Your thinking has been holding you back, and it's time to rise. Jim Rohn taught that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And discipline begins in the mind. Because before your body moves, before your hand writes, before your mouth speaks, the thought is born. If you discipline your thoughts, you can discipline your life. So what does it mean to change your thinking? It means to take responsibility. It means to stop blaming the winds and start adjusting your sail. It means to build a new philosophy, a personal philosophy that says, I am in control. I am the master of my destiny. I am not a victim of circumstance. I am a creator of circumstance. Imagine the power of that shift. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that no matter what happens, the economy, the politics, the opinions of others, you will rise because your thinking is unstoppable. That's not just motivation, that's transformation. That's the difference between a wandering life and a life of design. Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. How true is that? Look around. The world is full of people who gave up their power, who allowed society to dictate their future. But not you. Not anymore. You have to draw the line and say, this is my life, and it will change when I change. But here's the catch. Change does not happen in one dramatic moment. It is not the lightning strike. It is the daily drip, the steady discipline of thought, the repetition of new beliefs until they become your default reality. You cannot just decide once. You must decide daily. You must wage war against the old patterns that want to pull you back. Think about a garden. If you do not plant good seeds, weeds grow by default. Your mind is the same. If you do not plant disciplined, empowering thoughts, weeds of fear, doubt, and negativity will take over. And weeds don't need permission. They grow wild. Success, however, must be planted. It must be cultivated. It must be guarded like treasure. And here's the beautiful part. You already have the ability to do it. You have the ability to shift your thinking today. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need perfect conditions. All you need is the courage to say, no more. I am done with small thinking. I am done with negative beliefs. From this moment on, I will think like the person I intend to become. Jim Rohn said, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And that is the invitation right now. You may not transform your life today, but you can pivot today. You can shift the sail today. You can change the philosophy that governs your thinking today. And if you do, the destination will take care of itself. But understand, this journey is not for the faint of heart. Success requires a battle, not with the world, but with yourself. The old you will resist. The lazy you will fight back. The doubtful you will whisper every reason to quit. And you must conquer them all with one weapon: disciplined thought. When the voice says, you can't, you answer, watch me. When the voice says, it's too hard, you declare, I am stronger than this. When the voice says, you're not ready, you whisper, neither was anyone when they began, but I will grow into it. That is the mindset of the unstoppable. That is the thinking that forges freedom. That is the philosophy of success. And here's the paradox. You don't get freedom by avoiding discipline. You get freedom by embracing it. You don't get success by waiting for easier days. You get success by becoming better. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop blaming. Change your thinking and watch your life transform before your very eyes. They told you success was complicated. They told you it was locked away behind talent, behind opportunity, behind luck. They told you it belonged to the chosen few, to the ones born with the right connections, the right breaks, the right start in life. But Jim Rohn shattered that lie with one simple, powerful truth. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. Change your thinking, and you will change your life. Not someday, not when the stars align, not when the world decides to finally hand you a break. No. Your life bends, your life transforms, your life becomes unrecognizable the moment you choose to discipline your thoughts, redirect your beliefs, and demand more of yourself than you ever have before. Because the prison that keeps most people trapped is not made of walls. It is not made of steel bars or locked gates. It is made of thoughts, small thoughts, weak thoughts, fearful thoughts. A man or woman can be free in body and still live as a prisoner in their mind. And in the same way, a man or woman can begin with nothing, absolutely nothing, and still rise to greatness if they learn to master the one thing no one else can control: their thinking. Jim Rohn understood this. He understood that the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your future. He said, stand guard at the door of your mind. Why? Because whatever you allow in will grow. Plant weeds, and weeds will choke out the garden. Plant discipline, vision, belief, and persistence, and the harvest will astonish you. But here's the part they don't tell you. It isn't easy. It isn't instant. It isn't magic. Changing your thinking requires war. A war against your own excuses, a war against your comfort zone, a war against the old patterns that whisper, stay the same. It's safer here. And yet, if you have the courage to fight that war, if you have the courage to confront the enemy within, you will discover a truth that will set you free. You are not chained to the way you've always been.